Welcome to day 10 of 100 days of automation. Today we are going to look at how to bookmark and store any website's metadata using Craftar, Chrome extension and Airtable. So let's see how the automation works. First, let's check out our Airtable base. So here I have created an Airtable base with all the meta tags that I want to extract. So I want to get the URL of the website I'm bookmarking. I also want to get the tab title, which will be this. I'll also want to get the author, favicon, and all the open graph meta tags. So site name, image, type, locale, and so on, as well as like viewport, robots, keywords, subject, and there are like total 26 different meta tags that we can extract. And also I capture the created time so we can see how a website meta tags are evolving. So now let's create an API in Craftar that will store the meta tags over here. So we will go to Craftar now, click on create a new API and call it metadata API. I'll click on create and now we get our inputs and outputs. So first I'll right click and I'll search for Airtable and we'll select get Airtable config from URL. So this will take in the URL of my Airtable base and I'll copy paste it into the URL on the right sidebar. And this gives me the base ID, table ID and view ID. And now I'll select add single record to Airtable. So this block takes in a base ID, takes in a table ID, and it takes in some data that we want to add as a record. So we'll create an API input. We'll call it metadata. The data type would be JSON. And then we can connect this to our records to add in Airtable. So now what we are saying is whenever we call this API with metadata, it will get the Airtable config from URL, base ID and table ID. It will take the API key and the record that we have added and add it to Airtable. So let's click on save and publish. So once I do that, our API is ready to go. Now we'll copy our API key and then we'll go to any website that we want to get the metadata of. We'll click on the Craftar Chrome extension. I can choose an action. So in this case, I'll choose bookmark and then I'll paste my Craftar API key. Then I'll click on run automation. As soon as I do that, we can go to our Airtable and we can see that we have extracted our metadata from that website. We have the URL, the tab title, we have the author, favicon, the open graph title, description, and site name, image, and so on. So we've got all of this data with just a single button click. Now, since we created the API which gets called whenever I click the Chrome extension button, we can modify the behavior. We can try to insert OpenAI in the meta tag to extract some keywords. We can also send this to Notion instead of Airtable. So the whole world is open in terms of what we can do with the metadata, and we can just review it quickly. So if I look at my steps, so we are building an automation to bookmark and store websites metadata. We created an Airtable base to store the website data. Then we created an API in Craftar that takes the metadata and saves it to Airtable. Then we install Craftar's Chrome extension and then we go to any website, choose bookmark, add our API key and run the automation. That was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.